Y'all ain't ready for this right here, my nigga. Let's go.
I'm a champion's champion. Going scream my name. I'm a champion's champion.
We just don't run the game.
Why you go and run your mouth and run the motherfucking game?
From the land of the warriors, but I rep a G-stick. Making tracks bleed fills my breakfast, lunch, and dinner plate. Here's the belt, nigga. I'm standing right here. NBA, we ain't running. It's the home of Cavaliers. We stay ready and grinding. My nigga, we never crumble. I embrace the fucking struggle, cause it keeps me oh so humble. When niggas say I can't, use a motherfucking lie. Cause I'm conquering you dollars with my hands held high. These niggas know I'm fly, and these women do comply with Mr. R&B crunk, and I'm just a simple guy. We ballin' on these niggas, you don't like it, close your eyes. Niggas run up talking shit, then you reaching for the sky. My nigga, I've been doing this shit since the day I've been alive. I've been knocked down, but I'm standing up. Rule one on how to survive. The champ is here, think you coming for my prize. I got the heart of a Bugatti, kick that bitch in overdrive.
I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name.
Why you go and run your mouth? We just go and run the game.
I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion. I'm a champion.
You run your mouth, we just go and run the game. I woke up in the party, diamonds around my neck, try not to stare, but you can't resist these niggas staring. I ain't worried, look at what I came in with. I see Lil' Mama staring, so I might just approach her. I see them niggas staring too, roll up with sit in my host, but don't worry over here. I'm just feeling like a champion, we popping all these bottles like we sleeping on the biggest trip. Pull up in the foreign, and pull up with a foreign chick. Get her to the crib, and you know I be scoring quick, but you can't stay tonight. That's not an option, baby. I take a shot, hope I don't miss because I'm not too patient. Heart of a warrior, champion confidence. Put some respect on my name, now that's just common sense. I'm with my niggas all the time, and we the starting line. Come up in the game, shooting like the Warriors starting
I'm a
time.
champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name.
Why you go and run your mouth? We just go and run the game.
I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name.
Why you go and run your mouth? We just go and run the game. I'm a champion. Questions you might more. These niggas cover the back. For his scars from plenty years of the grinding. Humble individual, but I take shit from no one. Rest in peace to Kimbo Slice. If I hit you, grabbing shotgun. Steph Curry, take a shot, but champion 23. Ain't too many really rapping. Y'all never gon' bother me. Salute me when you see me. Otherwise, just step aside, bruh. Feeling like a boss whenever I touch the mic, bruh. First name Ravon, last name Red. Get it right at the top of my game. Tell these haters to say goodnight. First name Ravon, last name Red. Get it right at the top of my game. Tell these haters say goodnight.
I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name.
Why you go and run your mouth? We just go and run the game.
I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name. I'm a champion's champion. Go and scream my name.
Why you go and run your mouth? We just go and run the game.
I'm like, I still got my hand on I just got shot.
Boy, oh boy. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? So, boy, brand break. I want Christmas. Still trying to get my voice right. Being out Christmas Eve didn't help. I tell you what, being out tonight ain't gonna help neither. But it is what it is. So you won't be seeing me drink 80 proof, not tonight, because I'm doing the responsible thing. But again, let me say to you guys again, Merry Christmas. Very Merry Christmas. I hope everybody was safe and happy. I hope all the children got everything they want from Santa Claus. I hope Santa Claus got all the things that the little kids wanted for Christmas. And I hope the parents and the everybody was able to get together and have a wonderful family time. And I do, because my kids really did enjoy themselves. They tried to make a catastrophe of my living room, opening all of them damn presents. And I said, look, no, I said, I got your stuff. Y'all got to clean it up. Y'all got to clean it up and put it under the tree, all that good stuff. I said, we ain't gonna leave my house looking a hot mess. No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, I'm on the latest. The latest I'm going tonight is 10 o'clock. I'm not going long. Well, 2 hours, that's long enough. But we have a lot to talk about. Oh my goodness, do we have a lot to talk about? It was a full day of sports yesterday, which I absolutely loved. We have to talk about that. We also have to talk about Nicki Minaj. Miss Nicki Minaj went on a show with Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. And boy, has Nicki Minaj stirred up a tiff. Oh my goodness. And it all depends on your point of view of it. But before we talk about that, we will definitely talk about the NBA, the NFL. I will make my predictions for the rest of week 17. Let's get out the way. You know, Christmas, I don't agree with LeBron James on much. But I do agree with him when he says Christmas is our day. Talking about the NBA. Yes. What up, Lomar? Oh, Lomar. This is the day we'll have us a day. We got a lot to talk about in 2 hours. And my boy, I did this just for you, sir. I told you I was going to do it. I did this just for you. Okay? Hold on. Hang tight. Yes, I did this just for you, sir.
Got a dollar.
Just listen up. It's just for you.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
That's for you. I did that just for you.
Got a dollar.
I did that just for you, my boy. That is a Lomar special. That is just for you. We got a lot to talk. So I'm going to start with football. First, get the way. Cowboys beat the Commanders. Two teams that had nothing to play for, just pride. Dallas wins. Good for them. Next game, the Detroit Lions had it all on the line. They went into Minnesota knowing that if they lost, their season would be over. They would be eliminated from playoff contention. And the Detroit Lions laid an egg to the Vikings backup quarterback Mr. Bosner, I don't even know his first name. 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers by the Detroit Lions. And that was their ultimate demise for yesterday. And they are officially eliminated. They are eliminated from playoff contention. What a disappointing second half of the season for the Detroit Lions. Losing their coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, clearly affected them beyond belief. And once Dan Campbell took over the play calling, honestly, no. Next season, Dan Campbell's going to need to hire an offensive coordinator and he's going to get his own way. He's problem. It's because of Dan Campbell. It's because of Dan Campbell and his refusal to take the punts, his refusal to take the points. That's on him. That is on him. And so the Lions are out. 6 teams in the NFC have clinched the playoff berth. So with the Lions losing, the Green Bay Packers got in. 6 teams have clinched. Only one remains. That is whoever wins the NFC South between Tampa Bay and Carolina. That's the last playoff slot. Now, we don't know what seeding is going to look like yet, but they're almost done in the NFC. In the AFC, one AFC-laden game yesterday, my Denver Broncos defeated the Kansas City Chiefs and their third-string quarterback, 20-13. The Denver Broncos bounced back from their loss last week to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I told my neighbor Lou, I said, we're going to win. I said, it may not be pretty, but we're going to win. And we won. We won. That's all that matters. We won. And let's see. We are 13-3, and we're destiny as far as the division title and number 1 seed in AFC. Now, if the Chargers lose tomorrow, Denver will clinch the AFC West. But all Denver has to do, there are ways that Denver could clinch the AFC West and the number 1 seed this week. This weekend. It's very complicated. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very complicated. It's just a lot of teams have to lose. And if it happens that way, then so be it. But basically, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Bills, and Jacksonville all have to lose. All have to lose. They all have to lose. Let's see. But so Denver wins. Denver wins, and they are 13-3. And like I said, best record in the league right now, and they have the inside track. Was it impressive? No, I think Sean Payton was very conservative. I think they were very conservative, particularly with the third-string quarterback. And that didn't make many Denver Bronco fans happy. I'm more just give me the win. We can deal with the matchups from next. We know Los Angeles Chargers. We know what that. We got the win. We got the win. So, with that being said, let me give the predictions for what I think is going to happen for. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? Let me give my predictions for what I think is going to happen the rest of this week. Let's see. What games we have? Oh, yeah, I got to put the music on. Oh, shit, I got to make it dramatic. I got to make it Lamar, I got to make it dramatic.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
Yeah. Let me make it dramatic as I'm going to make my predictions for the rest of the week. I'm such a fucking idiot. I know it, and I love it too. It's who the hell I am. Yes. Yes. All right, let's see. I'm the boy on the streets tonight. What we got now? All right. The Houston Texans at the LA Chargers. I'm rooting for my heart on this one. Oh, already, you know what? I already said these with Vince when Vince was on here. All right, so now we're going to Sunday. New Orleans and Tennessee. I'm picking New Orleans. Jacksonville, Indianapolis. I would love to see Indianapolis win, but Jacksonville. Tampa at Miami. Now, I tell you what, nigga. If Tampa Bay loses this game, somebody might lose their damn job. That it is all of what it is, I'm gonna say about that. Patriots at the Jets. Come on. The Patriots win. Would love for the Patriots to lose, but the Jets aren't gonna get it done. Seattle at Carolina. Now, this is a tricky game because you never know what version of the Carolina Panthers that you're going to get. But you know what? I'm going to pick the Panthers. I'm going to pick the Panthers to win this motherfucker. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. What I do. Yeah, one game is that cares about. I love the Raiders, Giants. I'm a pick. I'm like a Raven. Let me see, make sure I'm all connected. Yeah, I'm connected. Okay. I got a new modem, and my new modem be acting stupid as a bitch. Philadelphia, Buffalo. All right. Now, this is a big game. It's a big game because I think if Philadelphia wants to prove that they are back in effect and that they are still the team to beat, not just in the AFC, but in the NFL, even though this game is at Buffalo, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. Because Buffalo, they cannot stop the run. I think Saquon Barkley will have a great game. Josh Allen's going to have to put his cape on, but I think the Eagles just have too much for him. Another big game. Sunday night, Chicago at San Francisco. Ooh. I've been thinking about this game. I know the 49ers at home. Bears. I've been wrong about the Bears. So, because the 49ers have the inside track to number one in the NFC. They have the inside track. So they're getting healthier. But San Francisco's defense is really not good. It's not. You know what? I'm going to go with Chicago. And then the Rams at the Falcons. Rams. Yeah, there we go. Now, let me quickly talk about some NBA. Let me talk about, you know what, I can leave the music on for that. Yeah. You know, yeah, Christmas Day to me, that belongs to the NBA. You know, and I'm going to continue to feel that way. You know, NFL is trying to start the NFL Winter Games. Man, it's the regular season schedule. Fuck it, what the fuck? Like the NFL is trying to do and you know what? I ain't knocking them. They just try to do anything to create revenue, but it's like the NFL Winter Games. Nigga, it's the NFL schedule in December. Same shit that's been going on my whole life. I wouldn't put games on Christmas because Christmas is the NBA's day. I'm not going out my way to go to Netflix when I can just turn to ABC and watch 5 basketball games all day. So yeah, what I did, I had the NBA on my big TV and on my smaller TV. I had it on the football game. I didn't even have the volume up though. I ain't gonna front. I did. The only game I was interested in was the Bronco game anyway. So the games that stood out to me, the Knicks' incredible fourth quarter comeback against Cleveland. 17 points down. There's no reason the New York Knicks should not get out the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals. I was talking with Aaron about this, and it's like, eventually, when are you gonna get over the hump? I would not trade for Giannis. I just wouldn't. I would not trade for Giannis at all. This is the only NBA banner I got, so that's what I'm putting up here. It's a shot at the Clippers. Sean said this to me a while ago, but I thought it was so funny I made it a banner. Clippers got a team full of uncles. Yeah, they do. Oh boy. Anyway. Yeah, I would not trade, and it's not, Giannis has been my favorite player in the league for about the last 4 or 5 years. But what Giannis is starting to turn into, unfortunately, is injury prone. He gets hurt more often than not now over the last about 3-4 seasons. So so now and plus with the Knicks, the Bucks would want too much, rightfully so. Giannis is still dominant. He's still that nigga. Giannis is still that nigga. He's still dominant. But I wouldn't trade OG or Bridges or Cat. No, I wouldn't do it. So if I'm the Knicks, this roster, especially considering that even though Boston is playing well, Tatum is not there for Boston. Halliburton is not there. Giannis doesn't want to be there in Milwaukee. The Knicks should be. Now, Detroit, I am not pooping on Detroit. One thing about it, I love when the Pistons are relevant. Basketball just feels right to me when the Detroit Pistons are relevant. And boy, are they kicking ass and taking names. I'm looking for a showdown in the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Pistons. I thought it would be the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I mean, who knows? It's still only a third of the season has been played, but we'll see. Next game, Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, they've been so dominant. They've been so dominant over the first month and a half, or in the first 2 months of the season. They got a problem. They have a San Antonio Spurs problem. Styles make fights, and the San Antonio Spurs have the Oklahoma City Thunder's number. Of course, you got Wemby, who's been coming off the bench since the calf strain. But Stephon Castle, Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, they can defend, they can shoot, they're athletic. And again, while Oklahoma City's looking dominant, I think it's pretty cool. But the fact that OKC doesn't really run an offense is one-on-one and it's lobs. And the Spurs, they can defend it. Oklahoma City's great on defense, but the Spurs just have their number. Some teams just got your number. So if OKC and San Antonio were to match up in the playoffs, it'd get dicey for the Thunder. The Golden State beat the Mavericks. Good for them. The Lakers, my Lakers, even though I'm been half past sick of LeBron James, we looked bad yesterday against the Houston Rockets, who hadn't been playing well either. Everybody knows it's no secret the Lakers' 3 best players, they can't play defense. They don't play defense well at all. Whether Luka, Austin Reeves, who got hurt in the first half, and LeBron, who can't play defense like he did because he old. And Houston has all the traits of San Antonio except for the consistency. And they smoked the Lakers. Yeah, and JJ Redick can come on and in the press conferences and throw all the temper tantrums he wants until this team plays defense. I mean, we'll win. What up? Yo, yo, yo. We'll win regular season games. We'll get probably a top 4 seed. But are we winning any title? No, not at all. No, because we don't play enough defense. I'm not delirious Laker fan. I know what our strengths and weaknesses are. Our strengths are, I mean, Luka and LeBron. Luka is an elite player. To me, Luka is a white James Harden. He'll put up a lot of points. Teams he plays for will win a lot of games. Title? LeBron is still an elite player for his age. And Austin Reeves is like a poor man's Luka. And he can ball. He can ball. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you. But the only players who plays defense for the Lakers is Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt. DeAndre Ayton, what the hell? You 7 feet tall and you got 2 rebounds the whole game? Come on, bro. Come on now, cut it out. Last game of the day, was the most entertaining. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I love watching them play. I do. Because they throw haymakers at each other. Minnesota comes back from a 14-point fourth quarter deficit. Anthony Edwards forces overtime, and then Minnesota jumps out on Denver in overtime. They get up by 9. You think it's over, and then here comes Denver. Jokic had 56 points. Jokic is amazing. Jokic is amazing. He is amazing. Jamal Murray, cold-blooded. Going to be an all-star this year. So I love watching Denver and Minnesota. Ultimately, Denver won the game. They are now the 3rd seed in the West. Minnesota is the 5th seed, I believe. Number 1 is Oklahoma City. 2 is San Antonio. 3 is Denver. 4 is the Lakers. 5 is Minnesota. Entertaining. Definitely. But now, we got some things to talk about in regards to Miss Nicki Minaj. Now, Nicki Minaj just recently went on to Erica Kurt's, what's it called? America Fest, TPUSA Summit. What is that, teleperformance? And everybody now I'm gonna react because I'm not like people community who's ready to cancel Nicki Minaj. You know, I'm like this with the political game. Honestly, the political game has turned into WWE. For real. The game of politics has turned into fucking WWE. The Democrats can talk shit about each other. The Republicans can talk shit about each other. But at the end of the day, they're going to all go out and eat, break bread, talk about, ha, 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 we really got them going. So let's watch this interview together.
Hi. Hello, how are you? So those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise for every AmFest. And we are so blessed to have you. We are so grateful. I mean,
thank you. I'm honored to be here. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Love you guys. So we're just gonna dive right into this. you had some fun words for Governor Newsom. I have to read these tweets because they're amazing and they're so funny. Okay, first one, we'll do this one. Unless you want to read it in your own voice, I think it'd be really great. Okay.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Okay. One more.
Why not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav nots. Gav, not in, Gav out. Send in the next guy, I'm bored.
You know, Nicki Minaj still does her best to try to be a character. And that's cool. I mean, you know, whatever makes your bag, makes your bag. Now, again, this is the beginning of the interview. Now, there's one thing that you will hear Erica Kirk say. Charlie would always do this and Charlie would always do that. Let me make this clear. Everybody deserves to have their opinion. I do not like at all the way Charlie Kirk lost his life. He did not deserve to lose his life like that in front of his wife, in front of his kids. But you'll probably hear me say this a couple of times during this video. I don't give a fuck about what Charlie said. I don't give a fuck about what Charlie would have said. I don't give a fuck about what Charlie would do. Because while I respect the fact that he has a right to have his own opinion, his opinion was quite divisive. And this whole talk of Christian is just wild to me because nothing, I don't know what Christians they're praying to, but they were quite divisive. They were quite insulting, particularly to black women. So when Mrs. Kirk, and again, sorry for your loss, says what Charlie would have said and what Charlie would have done, I don't care. I don't care. What Charlie needed to do was not be so damn snooty. What Charlie needed to do was not think that his word was supreme to everybody else. What Charlie needed to do was try to be more unifying than divisive. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
So I'm just gonna let you riff. Like, I want you to say whatever you want to say to Mr. Newsom.
Dear Newscum, we don't have a problem cleaning up the scum if we have to. Please tread lightly. That's what I would say to Gabby Poo.
So with regard to the current administration, what has been maybe the biggest surprise for you or something that you just really has been put on your heart that you've learned about our president and our vice president?
Well, I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that he's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly, having to constantly.
Now I'm curious, just curious. I wonder how much that check was for. I'm just curious. Because I show Pastor Manning all the time for comic relief. And the first thing I always say is, Lomar, you know this. I always say, who's paying this nigga? So I'm just curious with Barbie. I wonder how much that check was for. Because that kind of seemed like a bought and paid for statement. I'm not saying that she, again, I respect her opinion. I really do. I respect her opinion. But that one seems a little, that one seems a little bought and paid for. I'm just saying, not saying it necessarily is, but it just seemed a little bought and paid for. Our president has given us so much hope about the bullies. Our president has given us such hope that we can win the fight against the bad guys. Like I said, and I only say that because she's talking like she's doing ad-lib vocals in a song. Again, I ain't trying to shit on Nicki Minaj for her opinion. I'm not. But I find humor in everything. Let's go back.
Your integrity intact.
Okay.
President.
Our president likes chicken. Oops.
Well, I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that he's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly, having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on. You'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And it's just not fair. This education president.
Okay, oh wow, like this tea is literally immediately. Again, if that's her opinion, she definitely has the right to her opinion. As far as the administration goes, nah, nigga. Nah. To me, the administration, this is what I've noticed the most about this administration. To me, this administration kind of goes out of its way to make people mad. I don't know. And maybe there's a method to the madness because, again, I don't follow it on a daily basis. I'm not like others that I've had on the show who, this is a movie and all of that shit. I just, this is what I've noticed, that this administration in particular goes out of its way to kind of make people mad. So now I understand if it is some messed up underhanded stuff going on that I'm sure the American public doesn't know about, and you're going against the grain. Okay, I get it. But I don't know how putting 300,000 people out of work is showing any kind of heart. I don't know how having a government stoppage that cost people bills, and even some people even took their own life because of it. I don't see how that shows heart. I don't see how taking Medicaid and food stamps from people who actually need it is showing heart. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Again, I've said this since the election last year. There's some things that I agree with. There's some things that I disagree with. So let's go ahead and get back to it.
They're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that, but both of them have a very uncanny ability to be someone that you relate to. I can relate to them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're one of us. Like, I know that they're not. Don't you guys agree? They haven't lost touch of the world. They're still connected to the world and what's happening in the world, with the younger people and older people, with the richer people and not so rich people.
Okay, the only reason why I would disagree with that, and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to disagree, disagree with everything that she says, because I feel this. I don't feel that any politician at that level, whether Republican or Democrat, is in touch with the modern day, everyday American. I don't believe that. And like I said, I'm not saying that because she's talking about Trump. I don't believe that about Harris or Obama or Biden. I don't believe that about none of them. So that's, you got to miss me with that one. I've said this and I'm gonna stand on this. You may have been in that situation before in your life, but when you reach that level of politics, Donald Trump's fucking 80 years old. And as long as I've been alive, he been rich. Okay? As long as I've been alive, he been rich. And when you reach that level, when you reach governor status, you may understand more of what the average everyday American goes through being a governor than sitting on Capitol Hill, but you really ain't that in touch. You're not. So I disagree with that too, Barbie.
They have the ability to still connect and be real and make us feel proud to be American.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Sometimes you just get tired of it, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there. That's right. So when you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to back down anymore. I'm not going to back down ever again.
Amen. Can the students in the room raise your hand? Wow. This question is for you guys. So you guys are very courageous and bold on your campus. Nikki, I know our students feel this way, but why do you think speaking your mind has become so controversial?
Because people no longer are using their minds, their brains.
I agree with that.
So right now,
I agree with that. Yeah, I do. People and the words that I would use as far as that goes would be spin. People try to put a spin on everything, like that's it's stupid. That's the only way I can put it. People be acting out here acting so stupid, but okay.
just imagine we're not allowed to have a different opinion anymore. We're not allowed to think out loud anymore. We're not this is not what the world used to feel like. And especially for the young people,
Agreed.
I don't want them growing up in a world where they feel like that. They deserve for their voices to be heard. They have valid feelings and they're thinking about things, and it deserves attention. We should listen to what they're saying. And if you're growing up in a world that tells you it's taboo to say something that the masses don't agree with, that's not okay. And we're not going to have it. And I love this.
I agree. I believe Sir Kwame Brown calls that the go along, get along gang. I agree. I'm not one of those who is gonna agree with what's popular. If I know if something in my gut, something in my heart is telling me, okay, that's kind of not right. That's kind of not right. That kind of makes no sense in the world. Like, not trying to speak hate against anything. I'll give you an example. When Jason Collins, the former NBA player, came out and admitted that he was gay, and I'm not in his shoes, but I can imagine that for him personally, that was a very tough thing to do. And he deserved credit for showing the courage, particularly because he was still an active player, showing the courage to say that. I can appreciate that. What didn't make sense to me was all of the masses, the world, the president's office, Michelle Obama. I'm so proud that you did. Okay, it took courage, presidential courage. That just didn't or when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year, and she hadn't even been a bitch a full 365 days. And everybody's like, oh, bravo. And I'm sitting there like, no, wait a minute. But if you say something about it, you're wrong. Charles Barkley would say this all the time. Look, your preference is your preference. If we choose not to live that way, or if we say we don't agree with it, that doesn't make us horrible people. We just have a difference of an opinion. So I agree with what Nikki is saying is, you're made to be vilified if you don't agree with the masses. I don't like that neither. I'm just keeping it a buck. I don't like that either.
You know, it's giving the younger people confidence that they will need later on in life. You guys will need it, and you will have it. So, I'm rooting for you.
Amen. Amen. Charlie would say it really does not take skill to be courageous. It takes choice.
I'm going to interject. Sorry for the loss. I could get 2 fucks about what Charlie said. I'm just keeping it a buck because what Charlie also said was divisive. It was divisive. It was racist and it was disrespectful. Don't like the way he went out. He did not deserve to go out like that. But with her saying, I understand I was her husband. Charlie would have. I don't give a damn what Charlie would have said. He had a right to his opinion, and I have a right to mine. I don't give 2 fucks what Charlie Kirk would have said, because one did nothing Charlie Kirk say was meant to unify, and it won't Christian. So again, that's my opinion.
I want to say again, thank you for coming and being courageous and being able to share your heart with us. And the reason why,
because again, let me say something else. When she says what Charlie would have said, she's up there talking to a black woman. Did you hear what Charlie said about black women? Come on now. Come on. Let's make that make sense, Mrs. Kirk. I understand as your husband, he lost period. No rebuttal, but what did about what Charlie had, it was black woman perform and say, well, Charlie would have. No, because Charlie didn't think highly of black women, Mrs. Kirk.
that also holds true sentiment-wise is because I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Amen. I feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled, but really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys. So you can't wake up and think about somebody who is determined to just stay mad. I literally tell them, stay mad.
Amen.
Stay mad. Because we're going to stifle.
Yep.
And art and on
Hoorah! My mind just totally went somewhere else while she was saying it. I wasn't even paying attention. I ain't gonna lie.
This is something I know that's really important to you and on your heart. And I personally want to know what inspired you to speak out for the Christians that are being slaughtered in Nigeria.
Well, and that brings me back to our great president and this administration and our great country that we take for granted that there
That check must be
right
good,
now
man.
in this world are people who cannot worship God as they please, where they please. We take it for granted because we have it. We can't even imagine not having that right.
Okay.
But every time we pray and fellowship, we have to, but the people that are right now in this world, we pray that, and not is a always someone to my pastor is the herbs, and so hearing that people are being kidnapped, and while they're in church, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized, all because of their religion.
That's crazy.
And that should spark outrage.
That's crazy.
In the great America. And that's what it did. And again, we're not backing down anymore. We are not going to be silenced by the bullies anymore, okay? Know that. Hear that. Receive that, bullies.
All right. It's entertaining. It's entertaining. If you haven't seen this before, it's entertaining. Now, I don't understand why people are so outraged with Nicki Minaj. Because when we like, we think things that we don't want to remember. Nicki Minaj had a rap lyric where she said she was going to vote for Mitt Romney in the presidential debate between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. So with her coming on this platform, and I'm sorry if the screen is freezing. I'm sorry, because I'm not even having any Wi-Fi issue. Maybe it's a laptop issue. I don't know. But I don't understand why people should be so up in arms, because this isn't new. In 2012, she said she was voting for Romney. Nobody made it a big deal in 2012 because Nicki was the hottest thing out, particularly when it came to female rappers. We tend to forget things about people we like when we don't want to remember them. It was her choice to vote for Romney in 2012, just like it's her choice to be on this platform. Again, some things I agree with, some things I don't. I don't understand why people are so pissed off.
Silenced, and we will speak.
Hear Nicki Minaj saying something about Christians, I think about, like, come on, man. Nick, I hope you've repented on all the demonic symbols and signs that you've made and that have been in your songs and your videos. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hope you've repented.
Amen.
Because you have danced with the devil.
I don't know if you can see this at home, but she's getting a ton of standing ovations.
If you repented, God bless you,
I
baby.
love you guys so much. Thank you, guys.
I'm not saying that to knock Nicki. I love Nicki. She gets real salty when other female artists start to come up, but you know, if you've repented, do the things that you've done to dance with the devil, my baby, God bless you.
So going along that thread, can you tell us about your relationship with God? Because I think a lot of us.
Sure.
Good pivot.
Well, my relationship with God started, well, when I was a toddler. Grandmother got sliced in the house. Kids go to her room and stay and say prayer. So later on in my life, well, not much later, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I started going to church in New York. And it changed everything. It changed my life for the better because I was going every week. I was hearing the word of God be preached. And then I was going home and I was applying it to my life. Even as a little girl, I learned how to pray very early. I always had this faith that made people think, you know, the kind of faith that you think a person is crazy, like, oh, please, like, you know. But I had that faith instinctively once I started hearing about God and, you know, just getting more into the Bible. I got baptized when I was about, yep, and baptized about, and I just always apply those to my life. I try to, and that's the thing. We're not perfect. We try. Sometimes I would wake up and feel so far removed from not God, but from fellowship. You know, I was like, oh my God, I used to go to church on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday every week, like literally 3 days out of the week. And then later on in your life, you become busy and you start thinking, oh, well, you know, God is in my heart. And, you know, but then sometimes you can be in an industry as well that pulls you away even more.
Oh, that's what I was waiting
So
for. There you go.
lately, I've been feeling like, you know, like if you haven't seen a long lost best friend for, you know, for a long time and then you bump into them again, that's how it's been feeling for me. Like just going back to God and praying and talking to him. And, you know, and he said to me, where were you? Where have you been? I've been with you. And
God knew where she been. She knew, and she trusted and believed that.
That moment that God had that conversation with me, I've been in such a better space because now it's just, I'm thinking about, is God pleased with this? Not if the bullies and uglies are pleased, but if God is pleased. And when you have that personal relationship with God, guess what? Even in school, he's there. Wherever you are and whenever you need it, you have something that you can tap into immediately. It's immediate. You don't have to leave a message. He's not going to call you back. He's there immediately. Soon as you call on him, on the first ring, he's going to answer. And I want you guys to remember that. You're young, and first of all,
No problems with what she was saying to those students because she was absolutely right. My only question would be with Mrs. Erica Kirk. When Nikki said she was not pleased with her actions of the bully. Cool. So, Mrs. Kirk, I asked the word that your husband, the divine word. You keep saying Christian. Do you think God was pleased with what your husband was saying? Just a question.
I want to say I'm proud of you guys. This is a major, to be so young, for you guys that are in college, to be so young and to care this much, this early in your life, it tells us how smart you are, and it tells us that there's hope for our future. So God bless you. Congratulations, you guys. You're amazing. Congratulations. You guys are amazing, okay? Know it. Feel it. Yes. Yes. Proudly. Be it proudly. Be who you are proudly.
Amen.
Yes.
So, what have you, I mean, you're an amazing mother. What have you seen that has been a struggle for you women today? And also for you to all talk about yourself.
Okay. Is that for little girls, I think that now we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to, it's not just making young Black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children not to be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If as Black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt like that as Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. It isn't me. One feels and she's beautiful.
All right. That you yeah. Like, I mean, no, all jokes aside. Yeah, you gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else. You gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else. And woman, if you then women, if you feel like people aren't saying that you're beautiful, look in that damn mirror and say it to yourself and believe it. Say, self, I am beautiful, but you have to believe it. You gotta believe it. She's not saying anything wrong there. She's not. Everybody, no matter what your ethnicity is, you should feel beautiful. Unless you know you're a horrible person.
Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Like, isn't that wild? And little girls to little girls, done to any all little girl in the world. You beautiful too, and you can compliment another girl. You can compliment another woman and still know that you are epic and amazing. So that's what I would say about for the girls. And I know I know my adults understand clearly where I'm going with that, where I'm getting, I don't like that. I don't like people making other people feel badly about themselves in any way. We need to nurture young girls. Yes, whether they are Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, they still need to be nurtured. They cannot continue to pay for other people's sins. They haven't done anything wrong.
Amen.
Erica,
and what do you think about for young men?
I'm not just Nikki.
For young men.
Nikki ain't saying nothing
And for
wrong.
young men, don't be new scum. Yes. See, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome president
Boy, that must be real good.
And you have amazing.
Ooh. Words. Ooh. Yeah.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard. So you're
Okay,
fine.
I'm about to say, yeah, I forgot she said that. Yeah.
Yes, we did. I love you. I love you. You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing. And you know what? God is so good. You let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord. And words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. I will not
Thank
judge
you, my
that.
sister. Thank you. For
That
boys,
was a record screeching moment right there.
Be boys.
Amen.
Be boys. It's okay.
Agreed.
Be boys.
Agreed.
It's nothing wrong with being a boy.
Agreed.
How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that? Boys. I want to say.
I agree with that, and it goes back to the part of not using your brain. What really has gotten on my nerves is now it's so stupid. People now acting like they don't know what gender they are. I don't know if I'm a girl or a boy. That's the dumbest shit ever. That is stupid. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you're offending yourself if you say you don't know what gender you are. You don't know what gender you are? Pull down your motherfucking pants and you'll find your answer really quick. I don't know if I'm a girl or a boy. Pull your pants down. Go to the bathroom. That'll tell you what you are really quick. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, because that shit is ridiculous. And y'all know what my thing is. When you grown, do what you want to do. But when you have people trying to convince young boys and young girls about maybe they should gender swap, no, you are fucking out of pocket. You are out of pocket beyond belief. Don't you dare say, I may try to convince you to switch the Christian in this goddamn sense. I'm serious. I don't know what gender I am. Got a dick or you don't? When you pull down your pants, it's either a tree with two apples or it's not. There's your answer. You can either hold or you can swipe like a credit card. Take your pick. The fuck out of here with this. I don't know what my gender is. Shut up. That's the part about not using your goddamn brains.
What's something the media and the world in general misunderstands about you?
Oh, I think people think maybe that I'm mean, or, maybe when you have a strong presence as a woman, it's easy to just box you into one box, like one category of mean or, other words.
They want to put you in a box to be able to label you what they want you to be, but you're so much more than that.
Because you intimidate them, and it can't on you, but that's what people understand about me now. I don't care about it. I really don't. In fact, I love that they misunderstand me now.
I do too, because it shows that you're not a part of this world. Someone once told me, do not be surprised when the world acts like the world. And I held on to that so much, because even being in this role now, they're trying to figure me out. Okay, enjoy. I am who I am. There's nothing to hide. And I know you feel the same way when people misunderstand you and you're like, okay, well, I have an audience of one. Well, now I have an audience of two, but I have an audience of in heaven. And I know the Lord knows me, Lord knows you, and he put everything in you to be able to make a difference in this world. Likewise to all of you students and everyone else here. And to go into that further, I know that and I'll end on this, I know that a lot of you guys have been hearing about, we are doing this for Charlie, and we're doing this for his legacy, but we're also doing it because each and every one of you guys have a legacy. And I want you guys, when you leave this conference, to take something and get out there. I want you to hold with you a word. For me, it's for okay, children, future, something. Hold that word in your heart, so that when you go back out into the world and you have someone screaming in your face, someone spitting in your face, someone flipping your table on campus, someone making fun of you because you're a conservative, someone making fun of you because you love the Lord, say that word to yourself out loud or internally, to refocus your brain and your heart and your soul, to know that you're...
Well, if somebody is making fun of you because you're a conservative, then they're stupid. If somebody makes fun of you because you're a liberal, they're stupid. Again, this political shit, it ain't nothing but political gangbanging. It ain't nothing but political WWE.
About something so much bigger and greater. The legacy with Turning Point USA, yes, but also for yourself. And so, Nikki, I want to ask you in closing, what is something that you want to leave as a legacy in this world for your family, for your baby, for just everything?
Well, that it's okay to change. Yeah. It's okay to change your mind. You don't have to, sometimes there's a lot of things projected onto you when you change your own mind. They project fear, shame onto people who don't think and do as they think and do. But I've traveled the world. I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. Because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God. And there's been a lack of that in our media. Everyday conversation, people have been Christians have been being persecuted right here in our country in different ways. So when we talk about Nigeria and other countries, know that prior administrations saw nothing wrong with that. And that's what was wrong with them.
I missed that part.
I truly feel that there are people out there who felt good about chastising Christians right here in our country. And it's kind of really, really sick. We can't let people like that be in power, you guys. That's the truth. I can sugarcoat it and laugh and kiki, but the truth is, I am here today to tell you guys that. We absolutely cannot let people who have a problem with us worshiping God, we cannot have them in power. All you have what is happening in the world. What is being done to and ask yourself why people in this country that were in positions of power felt so comfortable to try to take our voices from us. They were that afraid, they are that intimidated, they are that insecure, they are that small inside that hearing us and seeing us worship God irritated them. Our spirit irritates them because when we speak, they get shown up. When the truth walks in the room, the lies hide.
I agree with that.
They don't come out willingly. You gotta pry it out of them.
I agree with that. Cat Williams said that on Club Shay Shay. The only thing that I would say in regards to that, you know, it's ridiculous that people do act like that for people who are just trying to worship a heavenly Father. You know, the only thing I'm going to say again is that lady who Erica Kerr, anything Christianity. Making yourself superior and belittling others, there ain't nothing about that. Ain't nothing Father about that. What Nikki was just saying, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't wrong. But again, the person who you're on stage with, her husband did not speak in that manner. So I don't understand why people are having such a bitch fit about Nicki Minaj on that platform, because again, we pay attention to people. You know, when we like somebody, we tend to erase from our memory things that was done in the past. Again, in 2012, she had a rap lyric where she said that she was voting for Mitt Romney. So this was, again, and Mitt Romney was running against Barack Obama. This was 2012. So why this surprises people, I don't understand, because that political preference there a long time ago. We just ignored it because food when the rap game. I agree with what she's saying. She's just the incorrect messenger. I can understand that. I can understand that. Because, you know, when she said, she talked to God and said, where, and God said, where were you? Okay. We all saw where she was when that money was coming in and she was throwing up that triangle and, you know, saying, I'm a motherfucking monster and covering one eye up. Come on now. So if you want to say that she's the incorrect messenger, all right, so be it. But I'm not going to sit here and have a fit and people say, oh, we're going to cancel Nicki Minaj. Shut the fuck up with the bullshit. Just because somebody comes out and has a different opinion from you doesn't mean that they need to be canceled. It doesn't mean, if you don't want to pay attention to them, then don't pay attention to them. That's your choice. I'm not going to try to spread I'm not going to try to influence other people to not like somebody because they have a difference of opinion from me, especially something like that. That's just dumb. But we did have a rebuttal from somebody. Good old Dr. Umar wanted to put his sense in what Nikki said. So, it's Dr. Umar. We got to listen.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
That ain't what he said. That ain't what he said. I promise you. I promise you. That ain't what he said.
Dr. Umar, man. Happy to have you back. It's been a while, man. I mean, I haven't
Shout out
had
to
you
the
on
Art
here
of
in a while,
Dialogue.
man.
Yes, sir. Peace and Pan-Africanism has been 6 months. Christmas Day would make 6 months.
Yeah,
Peace and
man.
Pan-Africanism.
It's been forever, man, since me and you did an interview. But, you know, we here now. It's a lot I want to ask you and get your take on. Nicki Minaj, how you feel about the backlash she getting right now?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, Nicki Minaj, I have always felt, in my opinion, is one of the most lyrically gifted female hip hop artists that we've had. Point, and he's an artist and lyrics were not in his terms of quality. So she's a
Okay, now Dr. Umar, I gotta interrupt you right there. I understand you from Philly. You get a pass for that one. You from Philly, Meek from Philly. Nicki's a better rapper than Meek. You trying to big up your Philadelphia brethren. Nicki's a better rapper than Meek Mill.
very talented artist, very talented musician, a very beautiful woman. When I saw her interview with Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, it almost blew my mind because I was not aware that she had joined the Donald Trump bandwagon. So this past Sunday, December the 21st, she was in Phoenix, Arizona. It was Turning Points USA Amerifest Conference. So this is the conservative think tank, foundation, organization, and movement that Charlie Kirk helped to co-found. So she was interviewed by his widow, Erica Kirk, for about 30 minutes. And some of the stuff that Nicki Minaj said out of her mouth left me flabbergasted. She said things like, "Then were heroes, children." She said that we can tell that speaking for us, that they make us feel proud to be American.
I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. When we like somebody, we ignore certain behaviors. This isn't new.
Got a dollar? Got a dollar? Got a dollar?
This isn't new. Again, in 2012, she came out and said she was voting for Mitt Romney, who was running against President Barack Obama. So why you're flabbergasted is just you weren't paying attention.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
I got to get some control over that. I apologize. I apologize.
She said that they have given us a chance to beat the bad guys and win. She said something that really bugged me. I did it correct. Said something to the effect that not just that we tell black children to feel proud of themselves, but it's like we're doing that. And at the same time, we're telling other children not to feel proud of themselves. And so I guess she was alluding to this false narrative that the conservatives are putting out there, that teaching black children black history and teaching white children the true history of America is somehow going to make white children feel bad about themselves. That bothered me because she's a black woman, or at least I thought she was. She clearly has black children. So are you saying you don't mind your children growing up in a society where they cannot be taught black history or the true history of America because some people feel it offends the self-esteem of white children? And this is so hypocritical, Art, because we've been in America 400 years at least under British North American control. And look at how the self-esteem and self-worth and self-value of black children has been and continues to be compromised for the benefit of white child.
Absolutely. You want to leave it here? It's absolutely right.
And telling me to implement history where you're not insulting white people, you're not denigrating white people, you're simply making sure white children understand that the foundation of this country was laid and built and cemented on the genocide of Native Americans and the enslavement of African people. And not just the enslavement of African people, the dehumanization of African people. What a lot of people don't get, Art, is that although the United States of America was somewhat late to the international slave trade, even though they joined it rather late, the Portuguese had already been in it. The Swedes had already been in it. The British had already been in it. The Roman Catholic Church had already been in it. America was kind of late to party. But once America got involved in the transatlantic slave trade, what we call the Ma'afa in African culture and in the conscious community, the Ma'afa, even though America was late, America would soon dominate the transatlantic slave trade. I don't think people understand, Art. Many of the streets and back roads of America were created so that they could black people, the domestic slave trade, small and big streets, and union as territories. Those small states, those small streets, Art, in back of the large streets were created so you could sneak the slaves in the alleyway.
Whoa.
And traffic them in the alley and sell them in the alleyway. So for example, we're in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, you have Market Street, you have Broad Street. Those are your two major streets. You also have other major streets, but you have a lot of small streets. And sometimes when you go down these streets, your car can barely fit down these streets. And you say, well, why would they make a street this small? They did not make the street for the car. They made the street for the slave wagon. They made the street for the slave coffle. The streets were made long enough, large enough, just so the slaves could be trafficked down them.
Now, I will say this. I have not watched this. So this is teaching me something. So basically what he's saying is that everybody who live in Highland Park, on them back streets of Highland Park, where you can barely get your car through there, they was hustling slaves. If you go down, little ass streets. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Little ass streets of Highland Park. That's deep. That is deep. I got to run that one back.
All of your 13 colonies and subsequent states that joined the Union as slave territories, those small states, those small streets, Art, in back of the large streets were created so you could sneak the slaves in the alleyway and traffic them in the alley and sell them in the alleyway. So, for example, we're in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, you have Market Street, you have Broad Street. Those are your two major streets. You also have other major streets, but you have a lot of small streets. And sometimes when you go down these streets, your car can barely fit down these streets. And you say, well, why would they make a street this small? They did not make the street for the car. They made the street for the slave wagon. They made the street for the slave coffle. The streets were made long enough, large enough, just so the slaves could be trafficked down them. A lot of people don't even know that the layout of many of America's major cities that were slaves, those cities were laid in accommodate the outlawed the international slave trade. They did not outlaw slavery.
Boy, I will never look at Brooklyn Park Boulevard the same again. I promise you that. I will never look at Brooklyn Park Boulevard the same again.
They just outlawed the importation of Africans. So from 1804 until 1865, how did they get more slaves in America if you couldn't ship them in? They moved to a domestic slave trade, which means what? It means that they had to birth and create their own domestic slave system. And this is where you get the breeding farms. This is where you get the breeding farms where they would get a dozen black women, one black man, and his job was to keep those black women impregnated constantly. They were called the bitches, and he was called the buck. And unfortunately, we still refer to each other in those same pejorative terms. We call our women bitches, and we call the men bucks or the N-word. We use the same terminology on each other that they used on us. So getting back to the Nicki Minaj situation, what bothers me about my sister, and I still love and respect her, on a whole age and son, to see talent career through black culture by way of the hip hop movement, become a multi-millionaire, one of the top selling artists of this century, and to use black culture to build your career and then turn around and use the platform that was created through black culture and hip hop. And now you're going to use your platform and your prominence within our culture to work against the progress of black people by joining Donald Trump, JD Vance, Erica Kirk.
I'm going to say this again. Nicki Minaj told us this a long time ago. Nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention. I paid attention. I just didn't give a fuck. Not because I thought she was a hot artist, yada, 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 but your political preference is your political preference. Once again, in 2012, there was the 2012 presidential race between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. Now, of course, in the black community, everybody, fuck Mitt Romney, yada, yada, yada. Nicki Minaj had a verse on a song where she said she was going to support Mitt Romney. Years ago. Now, it went over everybody's head. For real? Like, that's crazy. I like, that was the behavior, the preference. I'm not gonna say the behavior because there's no behavior, it's a preference. The preference was there. The preference was there a long time ago. So that's why I'm not up in arms about her sharing the stage with Erica Kirk. I just find it amazing that Erica Kirk will still sit here and say, what Charlie would have wanted. Oh, and Christian, won't nothing your motherfucking husband was talking about. Christian. It was divisive. It was racist. It was narcissistic. It was ignorant. Didn't deserve to go out that way. That's what I found most amazing. Nicki Minaj, I knew this with her a long time ago.
Turning Point USA against the best interests of black people. It's bothersome. And the issue about this art is, to me, this is the Candace Owens effect.
Oh, Lord.
This is the Candace Owens effect. What did Candace Owens do? Back in 2007, Candace Owens, CP, school, but from some of her white schoolmates, they were calling her racist names. They were leaving racist voicemails, sexist voicemails. There was threats against Candace Owens, and the school district in Stamford, Connecticut sat by and did nothing. So Candace Owens and her parents, with the NAACP's help, rightfully sued the Stamford, Connecticut School Board, I believe it was, to a tune of $37,500. So you have Candace Owens, a black woman, another very articulate, intelligent, attractive black woman, just like Nicki Minaj.
Man, Candace Owens don't look nothing like Nicki Minaj. But I keep on saying, and I want to come with receipts. I want to, and what we saying, they wasn't focused on that because they was focused on Nicki Minaj. Of course they were focused on Nicki Minaj. But let me show you guys something, okay? Let me show you guys something. Maybe I could pull this up because I got it on my phone. Maybe I could pull it up here. Because niggas, I'm trying to tell y'all. Let me see, because it was on Lil Wayne's album, Dedication, Dedication. He dropped the how everybody's hate is beyond me. Nobody paid attention to it. I knew this a long time ago, and people are now up in arms. She's been admitted that she's a Republican. This don't even have nothing to do with Donald Trump. This does not have anything to do with Donald Trump. I'm sorry. It doesn't. Let me pull this shit up. I gotta get off. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all. I have to get off I'll come back to the YouTube video. But this has nothing to do with Trump. She's been a Republican. Again, because everybody loves her, nobody paid attention to this. This has been her. Dedication 4. Nicki Minaj, pro-Romney lyrics, rapper rhymes for Mitt Romney. Nicki Minaj made headlines on Tuesday, and this time it wasn't for arguably feministic lyrics. The Princess spits line on Lil Wayne track, Mercy, that had public voting for fucking up the economy. This has been her. So while Dr. Umar is saying, I can't believe she's joining the Donald Trump, yada, yada, yada. She's been a Republican. She's been a Republican. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. This is her political preference. Fucking get over it. What are you canceling her for? This is her this has been her this is 13 years old. This has been her political preference. Fucking get over it. Get over it. We didn't give a shit because we were just looking at ass and titties. We didn't care because we were looking at ass and titties. Yeah, Nikki can change her mind, but everybody got a lot of receipts on, what the hell she was doing while she's screaming one thing and doing another. Okay, fine, whatever. That's your business. But this full-on, I can't believe Nicki Minaj is doing it. Nigga, she's been like this. And I'm the only fucking platform that's putting it. I'm the only platform that has pointed that out. That Nicki Minaj been a Republican for a minute. Fucking get over it. Fucking get over it. Man, bro, like I said, wasn't nobody paying attention to that. Oh, she said she was voting for Mitt Romney. As soon as she shook her titties and was singing the song Anaconda, oh, never mind. Yeah, go Nikki, Barbie. Come on, man. Come on, man. Her political preference is Republican. Fucking get over it. Fucking get over it. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. Matter of fact, let me show this one more time for the motherfuckers who want to truly act like they stupid. Let me show this one more time for the motherfuckers who really want to act stupid and in shock. Dedication 4. This was 2012. Give me a program lyrics, look at the date on this. 7th, 4th, 2012. Nicki Minaj made today, and this wasn't for the media. Bitches of the economy. That was 13 years ago. And y'all are mad for what? Y'all are mad for what? Y'all niggas need to get over it. Joe Budden and anybody else, Joe Budden love the podcast. Get over it. This ain't new. This is not new. You weren't paying attention. This ain't new. You weren't paying attention. Goddamn it, I ain't the smartest knife in the drawer, but I ain't no dummy. I ain't no dummy.
Who benefited from civil rights, okay, and used those civil rights that our ancestors fought for to bring suit against a white racist school district. And then she spins the block on civil rights, and now look at her. She goes and gets a white husband, and now she's one of the biggest supporters of the conservative white racist agenda against African people. And as she's touring the country, and she's all over the news media, okay, trying to defend the honor, integrity, and legacy of another racist in Charlie Kirk. And don't get me wrong, I didn't appreciate the way that he lost his life. I didn't appreciate black people making a mockery of him, because I wouldn't want anybody to be made a mockery of when you lose your life in front of your wife and children. That is not to be made fun of. But at the same time, how is Candace Owens running around championing the legacy of Charlie Kirk, while at the same time you made a documentary trying to prove to the whole world that George Floyd was not suffocated to death by the knee of a police officer?
And see, Candace Owens, I can't she's very intelligent, but now that one, no, because of stuff just like that. Candace Owens, that one, she felt the racism and whatever, and then just decided to do, like he just said, that, yeah, Candace Owens, that's a whole different subject.
So you will make a documentary to try to make a black man who was assassinated look like a criminal, and then you'll turn around and go out of your way and even put your safety and the safety of your children in jeopardy to champion the legacy of a racist Charlie Kirk, who Candace Owens refers to as her best friend. How in the hell can a black woman have a white racist as a best friend? Look at the things Charlie Kirk said about black women.
Exactly.
Look at the things Charlie Kirk said about black men. But getting back to Nicki Minaj, I believe that Donald Trump and the conservative movement in this country selected Nicki Minaj because they needed a replacement for Candace Owens. Remember, Candace Owens has fallen out of favor with the Republican Party and the mainstream conservative white agenda, because she's now exposing the Zionist control of the conservative movement and of the United States government. In fact, Art, I would argue that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I believe, by the Zionist movement. Charlie Kirk began to question Zionist infiltration of the US government. He began to question Zionist control of US institutions, systems, and industries. And he began to get a little bit out of hand with his rebuke of the Israeli agenda. I believe that's why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I believe that because he was becoming so unapologetic in his criticism of the Israeli influence in America, along with the Zionist influence of America, that he was unalived. And because Candace Owens followed suit behind Charlie Kirk, and she started exposing the Zionist control of the United States government, they had to distance themselves from Candace. So if we're going to distance our...
All right, now, I don't know what the hell they talking about. Let me shut up. I don't know what the hell he talking about. You know, as far as the Zionist stuff, I have no idea. I have no idea, you know, who that affiliation is, or outside of him being conservative. I don't know. But, you know, when Dr. Umar is talking, when he's talking stuff like this, he's very captivating. You know, very, very, very captivating. He need to stick to doing this instead of talking about donations for that damn school that ain't never going to open. I'm not saying that to be funny, because I fuck with Dr. Umar when he's talking stuff like this.
Cells from Candace, and this is Donald Trump, the Republican Party, in the mainstream white conservative movement. We got to find another black woman. We got to find another black woman who can compete with Candace Owens nationally and internationally to bring attention away from Candace Owens, who is highlighting the Israeli influence on American politics. And so who better to use than Nicki Minaj? Now, I don't know why Nicki Minaj is doing this. I don't know if she's getting paid. I don't know if it's a favor. I don't know if it's an exchange, as some people have suggested.
Nicki Minaj is doing it. I'm pretty sure she is getting a check from somewhere. But Nicki Minaj is doing this because she's a fucking Republican. Like, people really don't want to grasp and believe that concept.
Okay, I don't know, but I know it's not right. I know it's wrong. I mean, look at all the black women, Art, who Donald Trump has had laid off of their jobs. According to the Department of Labor, between 300 and 400,000 black women have lost their jobs since March because of Donald Trump's policies. So Nicki Minaj, in all respect, if you see yourself as a black woman, how can you sit up there with Erica Kirk and talk about black kids being made to be proud of themselves at the...
That's why I didn't understand when Nicki Minaj said this administration has a lot of heart. I totally don't get that. You know, to me, this administration just goes out of its way to piss people off. That's just, again, and that's just my opinion.
Black women have lost their jobs since March because of Donald Trump's policies. So Nicki Minaj, in all respect, if you see yourself as a black woman, how can you sit up there with Erica Kirk and talk about black kids being made to be proud of themselves at the expense of white children? Where has that ever happened, Art? I'm an educator. I'm a principal. I'm a school psychologist. I ain't been in no school in America where white kids are made to feel bad about being white so black children can be proud about their African heritage. Where is that at? Somebody show me where white kids are being mistreated at the expense or for the benefit of black children. First of all, most teachers are white. Most public schools are white controlled. Most private schools are white controlled. All your Catholic schools are white controlled. What are we talking about? Most lawyers in America are white. Most doctors in America are white. Most real estate in America is owned by white people. Most politicians are white. In the US Senate, you only have 3 black senators. You might get 4 if Jasmine Crockett wins, but they don't have any influence. Cory Booker, what good has he been? Raphael Warnock, what good has he been? Tim Scott, what good has he been? And if Jasmine Crockett wins, what good will she be? So this notion
real talk
that
and
white people are losing because of a liberal agenda to benefit black people, where is the evidence of this? Here's what we know, Art. When you understand the science of racism, racism is always being most racist when they act like racism does not exist.
Amen.
Let's go back to Barack Obama's presidency. When Barack Obama got elected, the racism said, we are living in a post-racial America. We have a black president, so maybe we don't need black fraternities and sororities anymore. We have a black president, so maybe we don't need the NAACP. We have a black president, maybe we don't need historically black colleges anymore. This was the propaganda that white supremacy put out when Barack Obama was elected. And what happened during Obama's administration? We saw a white police brutality and assassination campaign against the black community like we've never seen in recent history. Whenever they try to...
That's real talk, because they also called Barack Obama a food stamp president. So, I mean, he ain't lying. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. I'm not as high up on his presidency as I was when I was living in it, but Dr. Umar is not wrong, not one bit.
Act like race don't matter. That's exactly when they're about to become more racist. Now, I want to draw a parallel to this, Art, because right now, Donald Trump is waging war against Venezuela. Even though war can only be declared by Congress, Donald Trump has taken it upon himself to wage war against the Venezuelan government. Now, how does this relate to Nicki Minaj? I'm going to tell you. Nicki Minaj, her parents and herself, they're from Trinidad and Tobago. If I'm not mistaken, Nicki Minaj may have been born in Trinidad and Tobago. At least her parents, at least her father, rest in peace, and condone of her. Nobody. So is of East Indian and African heritage. So he's mixed race, East Indian and African Trinidadian. Her mother, I believe, may be an American African. But from what I understand, the mother's all black, the father is black and East Indian. So Nicki Minaj carries within her the DNA of the East Indian people and the African people. And my question to Sister Nicki Minaj, and I hesitate to call her sister, but I'm going to do it anyway, because until I get clarity from her, I'm not going to assume the worst.
Okay.
But a question I would need to ask Nicki Minaj, Art, do you primarily identify as a black woman, or do you primarily identify as an East Indian? And the reason I got to ask her that, Art, not only is she turning her back on the same black America that made her famous, not only is she turning her back on the same black America that made her famous, Art, but right now, Donald Trump has carried out 29 different strikes on Venezuela sea vessel. Donald allegedly what is reporting. There's only one Caribbean country, Art, that's standing in with Donald Trump. Guess who it is? Trinidad and Tobago. The prime minister of Trinidad, the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Nicki Minaj's ancestral homeland. Well, technically, your ancestral homeland is Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, but the birthland of her parents, maybe herself, Trinidad and Tobago, they are the only Caribbean country, or should I say, the main Caribbean country standing in solidarity with Donald Trump's unilateral and illegal move to declare war on Venezuela without the approval of the U.S. Congress. Now, Art, you might ask the question, Why is the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago going against the entire Caribbean community and standing with Donald Trump? You want to know why? Most Caribbean islands have a black president and or black prime minister. Trinidad and Tobago is unique, Art, because the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, a woman by the name of Kamala, okay, not but is an East Indian. So even though the population that is 4% black, it's also 40% East Indian, and it's 20% mixed. And I've been to Trinidad and Tobago. And do you know what I was told by the Trinidadian and Tobagan Africans there, our black brothers and sisters? They told me that Trinidad and Tobago is dominated by the East Indians. They told me that they are racist, that they control the import and export. They told me that they control the drug trade. They told me that they control the used car industry. I was even told in Trinidad and Tobago by our black brothers and sisters, our Trinidadian African brothers and sisters, that if an ethnic war broke out, if a race war broke out in Trinidad and Tobago between the blacks and the East Indians, we would probably lose. Because even though we're 40% of the population and they're 40% of the population, they control the entire infrastructure, Art. So when I say I would like to respectfully know whether or not Sister Nicki Minaj identifies as an East Indian or an African, that's not just for American African purposes. That's for Trinidadian African purposes. I need to know with the oppressed.
Now, if it's that deep, damn, Nicki Minaj trying to stay off of ice radar. I don't know. That deep Trinidadian and this, that, and the third. Is she trying to stay off the ice radar? That's all I'm saying. That is all it is. What I'm saying.
People of Trinidad and Tobago who are being oppressed by who? East Indians. Remember, Art, when the white man left the Caribbean, he put the East Indians in charge. A lot of people don't know that. When the white man left the Caribbean to make sure black people would never get sole control of their island, he left East Indians in charge and he left Chinese in charge. And if you go to almost any Caribbean island today, you will find that either the East Indians or the Chinese are doing better than black people, even if there's more black people on the island. Trinidad and Tobago is...
Bruh. Hey, what's up, Leash? How you doing, baby? Why do people hate us so much? Hey, Leash, I got a question for you. Hey, what you think about this whole Nicki Minaj thing? I just want your opinion. Do people hate on us so freaking much? Why people hate on us so much? Yeah, you haven't supposed to be calling me. You should have been calling me. But hey, Leash, what do you think about Madam Nikki? Madam Nikki. You know. Oh look. What do you think about the Nicki Minaj thing? The whole Nicki Minaj Erica Kirk shit. I don't know why I'm so choppy. Oh, I guess she. Nothing. that's up. Everybody's mad at her because she went on a platform with Charlie Kirk's widow. That's all. That's all. That's all. You know, just dumb shit. Yeah. Understand. I definitely understand. Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Let me go back to this Umar video.
Unique because you have just as much East Indians as you have Africans. So I need to know if Nicki Minaj stands with the East Indians of Trinidad and Tobago who are oppressing our brothers and sisters on that island, or does she stand with her Trinidadian African brothers and sisters, as do I? But getting back to this art, I believe that Nicki Minaj was selected for 3 reasons. Number 1, they need somebody to neutralize Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett.
Hey, how you
They
doing?
need somebody to neutralize the conservative movement led by Donald Trump, the mainstream conservative movement led by Donald Trump. They need Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett politically neutralized. They're hoping that Nicki Minaj's status in the hip hop industry and her popularity, not only in America, but around the world, will be enough to take care of 2 birds with 1 stone. That's the reason they chose her. The second chose, they wanted to show Trinidad and Tobago that
Excuse the hell out of me.
Nicki is of your three persons. Her ancestry is she has a parent from Trinidad and Tobago. So because you're standing up for Donald Trump's imperialist agenda against Venezuela, we're going to put one of yours in the limelight for us. This is geopolitical art. Now, let me go a step further. Some people ask the question, why is Donald Trump doing everything the Zionists are asking of him? The reason Donald Trump is doing everything, Art, that the Zionists are asking of him, because Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Congress has already ordered the Department of Justice, Art, to release all the Epstein files by Friday. Congress ordered the Justice Department, Donald Trump's Justice Department, to release all the files by Friday. Just today, Art, they released some more.
Today's
Today.
Friday.
And guess what? Donald Trump's name is mentioned in those files allegedly hundreds of times. There is clear proof that Donald Trump was Epstein's jet. The question is, even now, in and adults, was he aware of it? Because if he was aware of it, he can be charged as an accomplice to the crime. And here's the thing, Jeffrey Epstein, Art, was a Mossad agent. Jeffrey Epstein was Israeli secret intelligence.
Damn.
Jeffrey Epstein was Israeli secret intelligence. And I believe that the Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service, used Jeffrey Epstein to blackmail all of the top politicians, all of the top businessmen, and all of the top politicians, businessmen, and entertainers in America in order to coerce them, Art, to do whatever the Zionists want them to do. And if you don't, we will expose your participation in the Epstein ring. You see how that works? The Zionists, Art, they use blackmail. They have a file on almost every politician in DC, black and white.
So basically, they're saying you're going to do what we say or expose your. That's about right.
First term, they were in charge. During his term, they think he was in charge. During his first term, they let Donald Trump go against the LGBT. Okay. They let him do what he wanted to do. You know why? Because they was looking towards Donald Trump's second term. They said, when he get back in the second term, Art, we're going to sit his ass down. We're going to let him know who's in charge. We're going to let him know what he's going to do. And if he tries to be arrogant and narcissistic and belligerent, as he has shown the world he can be, we're going to let him know. Jeffrey Epstein worked for us. And now you work for us.
Biatch.
Why? Because you was very good friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a very long time. And we know you know what he was doing, and you did nothing to stop it, even if you didn't participate. You want to know why Donald Trump is attacking Venezuela, Art? Venezuela has an oil deal with Iran. And as you know, Israel can't stand Iran. America can't stand Iran. Venezuela has an oil deal with Iran. That's not good for the Zionists. So they're making Donald Trump attack Venezuela in the name of the Zionists. Trinidad and Tobago Art, Donald Trump can't get out of this if he wanted to. Whatever Zionists tell him to do, he will do it. I heard J.D. Vance mention Nicki Minaj by name at least 4 times in his speech that he gave at Turning Point USA's conference in Phoenix on Sunday. He mentioned Nicki Minaj by name at least 4 times. And don't forget, Art, where was Nicki Minaj on November the 18th? On November the 18th, Nicki Minaj was at the United Nations. Art, how does a hip hop artist, no disrespect to my sister, Nicki is an intelligent sister, beautiful family. This ain't personal, this political Art. But how does a rapper, how does a hip hop artist go from rap to giving speeches at the United Nations? And on
maybe the United Nations was looking at them ass and titties. I don't know. Because again, while everybody is so up in arms about Nicki Minaj being on the stage with Erica Kirk, I have shown you guys that this ain't new. This is her. I have shown you. And just it wasn't just a statement. Allegedly or anything else like that. I prove. Show the proof. So I don't know.
Gave supporting Donald Trump's intervention in northern Nigeria on behalf of the Christians. Let me ask you a question, Art. Since when did Donald Trump start caring about black Christians? He don't care about the black Christians right here in America. What has Donald Trump done about miseducation for black Christians in America? What has Donald Trump done about police brutality against black Christians in America? What has Donald Trump done about homelessness and gentrification against black Christians in America? What has Donald Trump done against economic apartheid waged against black Christians in America?
What have you done about that shit? What Umar said. What have you done about that? Huh? Motherfucker.
Since when did Donald Trump start giving a damn about black Christians? So let me get this right, Art. You're not doing nothing for the black Christians in America, but you're going to go all the way to northern Nigeria. You're going to go all the way to northern Nigeria and save Nigerian Christians from genocide and abuse. Now, first, Art, let me say this. There is genocide and abuse. Some genocide against northern Christian brothers by ports. You've had northern Nigerian Christians who've been massacred over so many of these past years. It's wrong. I don't condone it. And I hope the Nigerian government gets this under control. Northern Nigeria, Art, is mostly Muslim. Southern Nigeria is mostly Christian. So the Muslims who are living, the Christians who are living in Muslim-dominated northern Nigeria, they're the ones who are being harmed. But guess what, Art? This was going on when Donald Trump was president the first time. If this was going on when Donald Trump was president the first time, why didn't he do something about it then? Because he's not threatening military invasion in Nigeria because he cared about Christians. Because if that were the case, Art, why don't he do something about the South Sudanese who are being genocided right now? Why don't Donald Trump do something about the Sudanese who are being genocided right now? Why is he ignoring the Sudanese genocide, Art? Why is he ignoring the child slaves in the Congo, Art? Since he cares so much about black people, let me tell you why. Donald Trump is ignoring the genocide in Sudan because it's being carried out by Arabs from the United Arab Emirates. The Arabs from are in the Sudan killing and genociding our black Sudanese brothers and sisters control in the other system. Where does the United Arab Emirates get most of their weapons from? Who is the number one military supplier of weapons to the Arabs of the UAE? Donald Trump's government.
Wow.
Listen to this, Art. Ain't that crazy?
Huh?
You're talking about you're going to invade Nigeria to protect my Christian because it's being carried out by Arabs from the United Arab Emirates. The Arabs from the UAE are in the Sudan killing and genociding our black Sudanese brothers and sisters to control the oil and the other natural resources. And here's the kicker, Art. Where does the United Arab Emirates get most of their weapons from? Who is the number one military supplier of weapons to the Arabs of the UAE?
These nuts.
Donald Trump's government.
Wow.
Listen to this, Art. Ain't that crazy? You're talking about you're going to invade Nigeria to protect my Christian brothers and sisters in to giving weapons and you genocide black people in the name of sources, but you care about the blacks theory.
I thought the only thing they had in Dubai was chocolate. God damn it. I thought the only thing they had in Dubai was parties, gambling, Fast and the Furious clips, and some shit of chocolate. Damn it, I'm behind the game. I thought all Dubai had was chocolate, parties, and
of weapons to the Arabs of the UAE. Donald Trump's government.
Wow.
Listen to this. Art. Ain't that crazy? You're talking about you're going to invade Nigeria to protect my Christian brothers and sisters in the north, but you giving weapons to Dubai. You're giving weapons to the Arabs and UAE so they can come into Sudan and genocide black people in the name of natural resources, but you care about the blacks in Nigeria. Give me a break. And what about in the Congo? You children dying. The Congo doing that because for Tesla cars and for American military systems. So Donald Trump isn't going to say one word about the Congo because it benefits white capitalism. He's not going to say one word about Sudan because it benefits white capitalism. And don't get me started on Haiti and what America is doing in Haiti. Since you love black Christians so much, what about the black Christians in Haiti? What about all the Haitians whose asylum?
Okay. We somehow got off of Nicki Minaj and Umar's in his bag. But look, as captivating as this is, I will have to finish this on Sunday, and I will, even though it's the post-game show, but I was supposed to be out of here like 20 minutes ago. But so Nicki Minaj pissed some people off. And again, I don't know why, because this ain't new. So, and you're free to have your own opinion. This is what it is. You're free to have your own opinion, but my opinion right now is I'm going to get my black ass up out of here. It's your boy Brandon Bravon Towns. You guys have a wonderful, safe rest of your weekend. Well, Sunday. I'm Peace. Love you. See you on.